All right, it is Monday, February the 6th, 2012. We are at the People's Park at Mellon Green in downtown Pittsburgh. It is about, what time is it at night?
It is
8:22.
Yes.
8:22 at night on a full moonlit night underneath BNY Mellon, and we are speaking with Samey and Johnathan. Say hi to the people.
Hi to people.
Hi.
So, first thing, just like, what is going through your mind right now?
First, hear me first. Are you going to marginalize me?
Go.
We had a specific conversation before this that you're not allowed to marginalize me during this.
Go.
Okay. I'm talking to Bram.
If that's all you got.
No.
Okay, well,
it's been a really, really emotional day. I've cried a lot. Just because, like, this is our family and it feels like we're getting broken apart. And everybody's like, no, we're not getting broken apart. We're just losing a space. And it's like, yeah, we're losing a space that's, like, central to us. And it's really hard because, like, we don't have anything set in stone for the future yet. So are we going to be able to gather back up? But I think we will, and we're going to grow stronger, and I'm not that scared. But it's still, like, sad.
what were you able to do in this space with your family that, why was something like this more important than, just meeting at the USW meeting hall every day or, like, someone's apartment? Or
I would have never met these people and been a part of this family without this park. It wouldn't have happened like that. If it would have been meetings in a building, I probably wouldn't have ever gone.
How successful of an occupation has it been?
Johnathan, answer that one?
Done a pretty good job, I think. I think the physical occupation is more than just what you hear about in the mainstream press. It's not just about informing the public, although we've done that. It's not just about trying to change the dialogue and trying to create a space for radical thought and radical action, which we've done. It's a space to show that people can, from all sorts of different backgrounds, band together. They can come together and work towards a common purpose, and you can create a family out of a whole bunch of strangers in a very short period of time, and something that is really hard to explain unless you're a part of it.
What were some of your favorite moments on the occupation to date?
There's so many.
Oh, by the way, again, big thanks for Dave Street.
Oakland. The Oakland
Oakland
Solidarity
March. Yes, that was my first. The Oakland for Oakland one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Not the
that
one-
was my first real, like, big action, and I didn't sleep for like 48 hours. Was it a total of 48
It
hours
was
that
about
I was
48
awake?
hours, and it was a lot of that was spent just like 3 or 4 of us sitting in the old heat tent, just talking after it, and nobody had the will to stop. We just
Yeah.
wanted to keep going.
We had so many ideas, and it just generated so much enthusiasm for the cause, and so much. That was a bonding moment for a lot of us because it was still early in the occupation. Wasn't it relatively early?
Yeah, it was.
And, like, I don't know, I was really slap happy because I had had no sleep. And it was just so great to be able to sit down with all of these people that I would have probably never known before and be able to learn from them, teach them something, and all kind of just get something from each other.
Now, you said it was your first major action. I remember the first major action at the occupation was march on BNY Mellon and down to the Attorney General's branch office. And I think there were some others. Like, what was it about Oakland that made it so special?
Well, I didn't go to any of the other marches before that, really.
Oh, okay.
I had been to the BNY one. I didn't get to go on the first action because it was my first day of my first real job ever in my life. Yeah. So for me, it was like actually doing something. It was exciting.
That was the march where I wasn't at that one. I read about it in the papers and heard about it from you guys, of course. You guys were like, it's called something like a snake march, right?
Yeah. The idea was we were showing solidarity with Oakland right after they got raided the first time around, and that was when Scott Olson, the Iraqi war vet, got hit in the head by a tear gas canister, and we put that thing together in like 2 days. Went out to Oakland on, I think it was like a Wednesday night, and just got to Shenley Plaza, and somebody grabs a bullhorn and says, "All right, where do you want to go?" And somebody threw out a location, and we went. And just marched through Oakland for a couple of hours. Just
Took the streets.
yeah, took the streets.
Went through the Cathedral of Learning.
Yeah.
That was mine and Dan's call. We were kind of leading the march at that point. We were up front, and we get up to the Cathedral of Learning, and we just look at each other, and we're like, "Want to go in?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "All right, let's go." And I just like opened the doors and walked in, and we got split up from everybody else. Like
They got locked in, we got locked out.
no, we got locked on the other side
Yeah.
of the cathedral and got split up. And then by the time we got back together, all the two groups got back together. We took the streets and just confused the shit out of the cops.
Well, what is it about taking the cathedral or taking the streets that like makes a protest seems adds that whatever elements that people crave?
It's showing that people are willing to take things a step further. It's showing that people are willing to
Challenge authority.
Yeah. I mean,
Challenge all that authority that's literally oppressing us. And it pushes those buttons and lets us, it gives you a sense of empowerment that you don't always have.
I just had a question. Feel free to talk until I can think of what I was about to ask. Yeah, how do politically, how did you think of yourselves politically? Like what your outlook was, what your thoughts were before this?
It's a better question for her.
And how have you changed since then?
I can tell it for her. She's gonna laugh.
I'm getting really slap happy. I'm running off of 4 hours of sleep. No, I can tell it. Okay, so I'm only a sophomore in college. I'm basically still fresh out of high school. Like, most of my fondest memories are from high school still. So when I was in high school, I didn't pay attention to anything on the outside world. I was in my little bubble in the middle of nowhere. You can drink it. That's mine.
No, that's his, I think. That's
That's not mine.
That's mine. Okay, sorry.
Trying to follow the action here.
I was in this little bubble in this little town called Newville, Pennsylvania for a long time, and I didn't know much about the world. I'd moved from Detroit to the middle of nowhere, so I went from a very open view of the world, a very open culture, to a very closed culture. But I didn't see much more beyond that, and didn't take a political stand at all. I hated politics. I didn't really pay attention. The first real election I paid attention to was the first Obama campaign.
Were you real into Obama the first campaign?
Yeah, but it was more because my older sister was into it, so I kind of would listen to her, and I really looked up to her at the time. And then last year I got into school, and it was I still didn't care. I was just involved in being a college kid in school, and that was really important to me. So when I found out about Occupy, I was like, I'll go down and see what it's about, because I had always been really interested in learning about activism in classes and stuff, which I've learned now is mostly sugar-coated false information. But and I got here mainly to educate myself on politics in the world around me. And now I'm an anarchist.
An anarchist, you said. How did that happen? And I'll just add to that. How come you don't hear a lot of people saying, after this time with the Occupy movement, I feel like I'm more liberal or more progressive. Certainly,
Wait,
a lot
you
of
just asked me 2 questions.
there are a lot of liberals and progressives here, but I've heard a lot of people sort of discovering themselves to be anarchists. Maybe a half a dozen I know of off the top. But what is that all about?
Second.
Yeah. Before I got here, I had been talking with some people about kind of starting a self-sufficient community, a commune, and I went into elaborate detail one day to my professor the first day of one of my first few days of classes as a sophomore, when I changed my major from business to global cultural studies. And he was like, well, that sounds like more of an anarchist point of view. And then I got here and just kind of started talking to a whole bunch of people and realized most of the people I agreed with, and most of my views leaned towards that kind of mentality. And it's, I don't know, it's I feel empowered with those views, I guess.